All right, family. So we back with part 5. Now, where we left off at is where I was telling y'all how first Kepha was denying Hamashiach while he was in the palace getting questioned by the high priest and the Pharisees. Now, during this time, the police or the cops, whom in the, of course, the YT version called them officers, but like I told y'all, we know what an officer is. So now, the officer, bow, slaps Yahusha in the face. Yahusha's like, what you hitting me for? I ain't do anything wrong. All I did was ask them a question. I'm answering them, and I answered them with a question. Go and ask everybody that I healed, this and then the third. So when I was reading it, my eyes just filled with water. And I was like, I understand now why you kept the peace and you maintained peace and why you didn't, get angry and frustrated. I said, because you said vengeance is yours and you are coming back to shed blood. That's why the Bible says in Revelation chapter 1 that every person that was there that watched him pass, they beat him, pierced him in the side, and hung him from that tree. Which like I said before in part 1, I got something to show y'all how they did it. Okay? Now, or what they say, the YT version, they nailed him to a cross. But I'm going to show y'all something. All right, let's get back into this. All right. So, we heading into John chapter 18, verse 17 and 25. Okay? So, at this time, Kepha, while all that's going on up in the palace, Kepha or Peter done denied Hamashiach one time with this little girl. Okay? So, I'm saying to him, he must have forgot that you told him previously in Luke chapter 22, verse 58 through 62. But the focus is on 61 of Luke 22. And I said, you told Kepha, a.k.a. Peter, that before the rooster crowed, he would deny you 3 times. And he did. What a betrayal. And I said, I am so sorry, Yahusha. And I love you. I said, they weren't your friends, but cowards. Shalakia, y'all. That's just how I looked at it at that time. Because we're looking at a time that was really crucial. We had not only a melanated man, but a true Israelite who was going to war with the political system that had a foot and neck on our necks, who had a foot on their neck from the Roman government. Because see, they was in, you know what I'm saying? This is what was going on. And if you pay attention, who is helping so-called those people today? Isn't it the so-called Romans? Come on, y'all, pay attention. Ain't nothing new under the sun. They just renamed these places and renamed the people. But these are the same people, same spirit. All right. So, and I said, and this was during the time of Passover. I said, then they had the audacity to take you to the courthouse before Judge Pilate. And the reason why I say Judge Pilate, because they took him to the judgment room. And y'all know what a judgment room is. It's a courthouse. So they took him from the palace where the high priest was questioning him. And you fixing to find out why they took him to the YT Roman. Okay? They took him to the YT Roman, or the Romans, which we know what YT. They took him to the Romans, right? Which was Judge Pilate. And they said, and they called him a malefactor. All right, let's get the definition of what a malefactor is. A malefactor is a lawbreaker, a criminal, a felon to do evil. And a felon is a person who deceives or commits treason, one who is wicked or evil, traitor, rebel, oath breaker, the devil. Let me put y'all on something, let y'all think about something. They hated him with a passion back then, and they still do today. Go and read the Talmud. How they hated Hamashiach so much. Go and read it. They hated him so much that they said that, he need to eat boo-boo. He's boo-boo. You know what I'm saying? It's been a long time since I read it, but That's what they hated him that much, that they thought of him being poop. You know, the S word. You know what I'm saying? And then they called him a devil. They hated him. How are you going to hate somebody that you are supposed to be of the nation? This shows y'all that they were not the people. And this is what we've been trying to tell y'all for the past 2,000 some years. These people that y'all are praising over there in that fake land are not the people. We are. Yahusha was an Israelite who was sent for his people and to be a light to the Gentile nations. But these people killed him because he was gaining power, setting people's mind free from the corruption of the Jewish people and the Roman government, who we are all still under today. There's nothing new under the sun. Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 9 and 11. What was done then is happening now. There's nothing new under the sun. Let's continue because my time is running out. We got to get ready for part 6. And I said, they are the malefactors and still are, Yahusha. And I said, they have no shame. No, none at all. So as I continue reading, I got into John chapter 18, verse 31. I said, the Judge Pilate was like, take him and judge him according to your law. Now, remember back in part 4, I was saying this. You're going to find out why they took him to a YT Roman judge named Pilate in the judgment room, aka the courthouse. Yahusha was on trial for a crime of blasphemy, and they wanted him to be sentenced to death because he was coming into power and messing things up for them, and people stopped believing what they were saying, stopped going to the, just all of that. They were becoming rebellious against them. They weren't listening anymore. They started following Yahusha. They started getting their minds free. They were getting healed. They were going back to the feast days. They were going back into the covenants of the Most High that he made with our forefathers because of Yahusha obedience. Because he was sent to us to deliver us, to set our minds free, and to take us up out of there. And they knew this. And he was going to war with them. And they didn't want him. They was like, that man got all this power, but he sitting up here saying this and that. That when one man died, he can save all of us, and we won't perish. So they used that to their advantage to get rid of him, unalive him, so they could maintain power. So that way the Roman government can keep feeding them money and all of this and that, so they can keep living that luxurious life when they had their foot on our neck the whole time. And all our Messiah was trying to do was set us free from the Roman government and the fake Jewish people. This is why they unalived him. We're going to keep going. All right. So Judge Pilate was like, take him back and judge him according to your law. Right. So since they the so-called people, the chosen people of the Most High, the children of the Most High, judge him according to y'all law. Because this ain't got nothing to do with me. He ain't breaking none of my laws, my Roman laws. He breaking what y'all claim is y'all law. Did he? You're about to find out. So, the fake Jews or the fake people said, or rather fixed their mouths to say this. It is not lawful for us to put any man to death. This is what they told Judge Pilate. When Judge Pilate told them, why don't y'all take him and judge him according to y'all law? They gonna tell Judge Pilate, they knew the law. They knew the Torah because they knew our customs. They knew our ways. They knew because they stole our identity and became a nation in one day. Ain't nothing new under the sun. My time is running out. Part 6 is coming up next.